It's astonishing how quickly the intensity and density of New York City melts away behind me as the train winds its way along the bank of the Hudson River. Urban grey makes way for forest green, and as the train pulls in at Cold Spring Station, I feel myself starting to wake up for the first time in months. Have you ever washed clothes at the same time as a duvet cover? And then when you take the duvet cover out of the washing machine, all the clothes are somehow inside the duvet cover. And you have to climb in the duvet cover, get all wet from the duvet cover, just to rescue your little ball of clothes from the bottom corner of the duvet. The last few months, I feel like I've been stuck inside a duvet cover in a washing machine. And as we pull in at Cold Spring Station, it feels like someone's reached in and yanked me out of the bottom corner of the duvet. I wander up the quaint little main street of Cold Spring, and my brain is having trouble processing the fact that I was in a cultural melting pot of 8 million people an hour and a half ago, and now I appear to have stepped onto the set of an episode of Whitey McWhiteson Goes to Whitopia. But I catch myself being elitist, and I hate being elitist, so I stop and I say hello to a man who's walking his dog, and he hears my Australian accent and starts telling me that this is the town that Don McLean lived in when he wrote the song American Pie. Realising that I was right to be elitist, I wish the man a speedy death and continue up the hill. Did you hear that? Was that back there? What was that? Back to the story. I find a hotel, eat a bowl of soup, and fall into a deep sleep. In my dream, I'm 8 years old, lying in bed in the spare room at my grandparents' house, listening to pigeons cooing on the windowsill, waiting for everybody else to wake up. My grandmother leans in through the doorway. Good morning, chum. Hi, Nanny. Penny for your thoughts? I could have done better, you know. I've had everything handed to me and I haven't done anything with it. Well, you can either lie there carrying on like a two-bob watch, or you can pull up your britches and get out of your own way. Thanks, Nanny. Right, up you pop. I'll make you some yeast on toast. Yum! It's still dark when I wake up in Cold Spring, and it takes me a good 7 minutes to locate the switch for the bedside lamp. I'm constantly baffled by lamp manufacturers who think it's terribly clever to conceal the most important feature of a fucking lamp. Without a switch, it's just a shit sculpture. I feel like I'm always rifling around up the skirt of some lamp or another. Lost track of the number of times I've had to send my hand on a deadly spelunking mission down the back of a motel room bed to trace my way along the lamp cord, dodging tumbleweeds of pubic hair and navigating a minefield of discarded prophylactics. Only to find out later you're supposed to knock 3 times, turn in a circle and provide a stool sample before it turns on. Sick of lamps! That is the message of this show! No more lamps! Oh my God, I'm the missing link. Super spreader. Run! Run! I get dressed and I step out into the crisp dawn just as the sky is starting to yellow out in the east. Cool, clean air fills my lungs. And this scene would be picture perfect if I could just get Don McLean's fucking American Pie out of my head. A leisurely 15-minute stroll later, and I'm at the entrance to the Hudson Highlands Nature Reserve. I rest my face against the mossy bark of an enormous oak tree, take a moment to synchronise myself with my surroundings. I inhale, step into the forest, and plan never to return. based on the stunning silence that occurred during that blackout, that it's a bit stupid having flashbacks from 2018 when you clearly know what happens at the end. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? He's going to do a show in Sydney in 2 years. Surprise! Fucking spoiler alert! Clearly, I changed my mind about quitting comedy at some point. And that's all right. It's good. It's good to change your mind. I do it all the time. Constantly changing my mind. Changing my opinions. Gotta do it. Gotta change those opinions. Old Randy, fucking changey pants over there. Always changing his fucking mind, isn't he?
When was the last time you changed your mind? Sometimes you've just gotta try new things. See what happens. For example, I've never done this at this point in the show before.
Gotta try new things. Gotta change your opinions. Well, give us an example, Randy. Who said that? All right, I'll give you a fucking example, Sydney. Drugs! Drugs! I don't do drugs. My privileged opinion of drug use is that productivity is more important than escapism. And also, I'm wired in such a way that if I even so much as look at a drug, I will be doing speed off a strip club toilet seat within 2 to 3 hours. So my opinion is, I should not do drugs. But then I went to Canada. Anytime you walk down the street in any Canadian city, you're constantly getting crop dusted with clouds of delicious smelling marijuana smoke because weed is legal there. So people walk around punching blunts like they're at a fucking folk festival. I was in Quebec City for 2 days and I started following pot smokers down the street like a cartoon character floating towards a pie on a windowsill. So I changed my opinion and decided I should do drugs. Has anybody here actually been to Quebec City? Anyone? It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Bit confusing. French-speaking Canadians ruled by the Queen of England. Pick a fucking lane, Quebec. But I was doing shows there and I was like, I'm not going to seek drugs out, but if somebody offers me drugs, I'll definitely take them. And sure enough, after a show one night, I was approached by some youths. Some youths approached me and they offered me a brownie. Now, they're very fond of edible drugs in that part of the world. The pot brownie and the hash cookie and the weed cake and the wacky tobacco toasted sangy. And these youths offered me a brownie the size of a fucking John Grisham novel. So I said, yes! Thank you, youths! And I took it back to my hotel room and I put on some comfortable trousers, put a bit of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard on Spotify. And I haven't done drugs for about 9 years at this point, so I didn't want to go too hard. So I just broke off a tiny corner of this massive brownie and just had a little just a little schnum. Tiny little. Because I didn't want to go too hard. But then, after like 10 minutes, nothing happened. So I ate the whole thing. Really fast. Like there were cops at the door. I was like, huh? And then I Googled how long it normally takes for a pot brownie to kick in. Does anybody want to share with the class how long it normally takes for a pot brownie to kick in? Does anybody know?
About an hour?
Yeah, about an hour. I was like, oh, I'm going to die in this hotel room. I started getting my affairs in order, cancelled my subscriptions to Yoga Glow and Chatterbait, started putting a PowerPoint presentation together for my own funeral service. And then, after like 75 minutes, I realised it was just a fucking brownie. Like just a regular old drug-free chocolate brownie, lovingly prepared by the youths of Canada, just to be fucking innocently distributed amongst the tourists. So now, my opinion is, Canadians are fucking idiots.